So this video is going to be all about converting between metric units and US customary units. So let's start looking at converting between lengths. So just a fun little note is that the US customary length of 1 inch is exactly defined as 2.54 centimeters. That is the legal definition of 1 inch. So, when we are converting between these units, it is important to know that, we're just going to do the same thing that we've been doing with the unity fractions or the unit conversion factors. So let's jump right in. Let's say that we want to convert 16 inches and we want to convert that to centimeters. Well, remember that we start out with what we have and we're going to multiply by the conversion with what we want on the top and what we're getting rid of on the bottom. Well, from our chart, we know that there are 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. From here, our inches cancel. And that leaves us with 40.6 centimeters. Let's look at another one. What if we want to convert 6 kilometers to miles? Well, again, we're going to take what we're starting with and we're going to multiply that by the unity that gives us miles on top, and because miles is where we want to go and kilometers on the bottom. Well, we know that 1 mile is approximately 1.6093 kilometers. This is going to cancel out these units. And when we do 6, it'll end up being 6 divided by 1.6093. We get 3.7 miles. Now let's look at one that's a little bit more complex. Let's say that we want to take 18 feet, 6 inches, and convert this to meters. Well, we've got a couple of options here. One option that we have, we can take this 18 feet, 6 inches, convert it all into inches, then convert it into centimeters, then convert it into meters. That seems like a lot, though. Okay. So the better way to do this is going to be to take this 18 feet, 6 inches and convert it first into just feet. Well, we know that there are 12 inches in every foot. Okay. So this ends up being 18 and 6 over 12 feet. And we can take that fraction and put it into our calculator and get that this ends up being 18.5 feet. Okay. And we want to get to meters. We need feet down here. So our conversion for feet and meters, okay. We don't have one, but what we do have is one for centimeters. So we can say 30.48 centimeters over 1 foot. And then also multiply that by 1 meter over 100 centimeters. Because what this is going to do, now we cancel our feet out here, we cancel our centimeters out here. And when we multiply all of this through, that gives us 5.6 meters. So now let's get into some weight conversions. Okay? So we have our metric to US customary weight conversions, or customary weight conversions to metric. And let's do a couple of these. Okay? So let's start out and let's say that we want to convert 6 ounces and we want to convert that to grams. Okay? Well, we start out with our ounces, that goes on top, and we multiply this by the proportion or the ratio that corresponds to grams and ounces. So we have 28.35 grams over 1 ounce. Our ounces cancel, and this leaves us with approximately 170 grams. Okay, let's look at one that's going to be a little bit, well, it's going to have a couple of conversions. So what if we want to convert 1.5 kilograms to ounces? Okay. Well, we start out and we have 1.5 kilograms. And the only thing that we have right now is to convert that into pounds. So 1 pound, 0.4536 kilograms. But then we need to have ounces. Okay. And from when we studied the US customary units, we know that there are 16 ounces in every pound. So our kilograms cancel, our pounds cancel. And when we multiply and divide this whole thing out, we get that this is approximately 53 ounces. Now let's look at some volume conversions, and let's look at this in a more practical manner. So let's look at a health application, okay? So this comes from healthcare. All right. So suppose we have a patient who gets 30 milliliters of a medication twice per day. And this is what the patient gets while they're in the hospital. And the doctor says that they want this patient to continue this dosage at home. So, how many tablespoons are we going to tell the patient to take? Well, the first thing that we need to do is say, well, if we take 30 milliliters twice per day, that's 60 milliliters per day. That's how much of the medication this patient was getting in the hospital. Now, if we want to convert this to tablespoons, we are going to use the conversion for milliliters to tablespoons. So we have 60 milliliters, and we multiply that by 1 tablespoon over 15 milliliters. So, like we've seen before, this cancels out our milliliters, and we are left with this patient taking 4 tablespoons per day. So, as you can see, these conversions, these are the same things that we have been doing every single time. It's just a matter of looking at the conversion factor and using that to convert what you have into what you need. So please reach out if you have any questions. Remember that we are here to help.